This is a roll of aerospace grade acrylic fiber. The higher the grade, the more light the fiber carries. The larger the fiber's diameter, or the fatter the fiber, the more light it carries. This fiber is as large as an acrylic fiber can be made without becoming rigid while still being of aerospace grade. It is the finest fiber available for lighting. Measure the length needed to go from the projector to the luminaire. If your fiber is too long, you can always trim it shorter as you install. Cut using an anvil cutter. The sharp knife makes a clean cut without pits or cracks. Cut on a 90-degree angle. If you get a bad cut, just trim it again. We are going to polish this fiber by hand. These are acrylic nail buffs from the beauty salon industry. Polishing is easy. It is just like doing your nails. Start with the roughest grit. Sand the end of the fiber flat. If this was sandpaper, the grit would be 150. A circular motion often is fastest, but you can also sand one direction, rotate, and sand counter the other way. The goal is to quickly flatten the surface. Sand the fiber tip smooth. It will slightly round automatically from your hand action, which is good. Pick the next grit. This medium grit more finely sands the fiber's tip. Its grit in sandpaper would be 350. Step down to the next grit, which is a fine 600 polishing grit if it were sandpaper. Now finishing the fiber, use the very fine gray polishing part of the buff. This will bring up a shine. You are making a lens for the light to enter the fiber. Check the edge of the fiber for parts of cladding. All optical fiber has a thin covering on its outside. Sometimes in polishing, the cladding will break free as a flap on the outside edge of the fiber, like a thin little piece of paper. You want no cladding seen at the edges of the lens. If it is there, remove it. You do not want cladding to block light. Final check is a few strokes with the polishing buff. Examine the fiber. Does it look like a lens? Does it look like a water drop? Polish the other end of the fiber the same way. With both ends polished, this fiber is ready to use. It will create a bright beam of light. Remember that if you make a mistake, just cut the tip off the fiber and start over. For larger jobs, see our video on machine polishing fiber for lighting.